Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Cool. Let me turn up your volume a little bit. Okay, cool. So, could you do a quick introduction for yourself on stream for the viewers? And just say how long you've been playing, like your tag, and your goals, I guess, for the game.
Yeah, sure. My tag is StepDaddy. I'm Captain Savaho in the chat.
Oh wait,
Uh,
what's your tag?
StepDaddy.
StepDaddy? Alright, I need to change my title then.
Yeah, I know. I can't stick on a username ever. So,
No worries.
I've been playing since 2015, and I was a fox for I guess like 4 years, and then I just decided to switch to Puff because I didn't feel like grinding a bunch of tech skill, but I wanted to continue to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Goals, like generically to get better, but I guess like right now there's about 3 or 4 players I have my sight set on locally.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay. Yeah, okay, yeah, sounds good. Okay, cool. So you sent me the video. I gotta pull that up, and then I'll Discord screen share you so you don't have the stream lag.
okay.
All right. Do you have any thoughts before I go into it, or you just want me to watch it and see what I see?
No, just go ahead.
All right. Yeah, because it's kind of like basically like I can go over whatever or take it from basically any angle. So, like, if you have an idea of sort of like a direction you want to push the lesson, then just let me know.
Okay.
All right, Puff Sheik. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so what is your plan in this matchup? What is your idea of what's you're supposed to be doing?
Um, so my idea is if I can basically, okay, so in my head, and I don't know if this is going to come out on the video, but in my head, it's basically to crouch, bait out, sheet grab, wall out with fair, and if I can catch her jumping up air, um, stay away from her when she's on side plat. Um, yeah, those are kind of my ideas.
Okay, cause like, so basically like, it looks like a lot of your gameplay, at least in these first few seconds, just like my initial impression, is that a lot of your gameplay isn't super intentional, where like there's kind of like specific moments where you're kind of like hoping that he gets hit by something, and then most of the time you're sort of trying to just avoid him entirely. Or like you're like, well, this is like, you're basically like, maybe he'll get hit by this and then he doesn't, and so you're kind of like, okay, I guess I'll just go to like my sort of safe zone or whatever, and then I'll come back and try again in a minute. And like, so like, for instance, like these walling back airs here, like, so these two are fine because these are like, they kind of hit like if he jumps up to try to get you or whatever. But there's a lot of them that you just sort of keep like, so it's kind of like, as Puff you have this advantage where it's very difficult for people to force things on you, but that like doesn't necessarily mean that, like, by not forcing things, or by not allowing them to force things, that you'll gain, like, an advantage. So, like, basically, the way that Puff is so good is that she can work on finding an advantage position without giving up too much in terms of being able to be punished for it. And so, like, already just looking at it, like, basically, your goal should be to take Sheik's stock as efficiently as possible. Whereas it looks like you're kind of like, I'm just going to throw out back airs and kind of hope he jumps into it.
Okay. So would most efficient... Oh, sorry.
No, go for it. Go for it. Your input here is, like, really valuable because it'll help me see where you're at.
So would most efficient way to kill Sheik would just either be get in for an up tilt rest or get an up air rest?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so pretty much literally those two things are, like, the most obvious against Sheik.
Okay, so I should be forming a game plan around getting these two things.
Exactly, yes. So none of these back airs, like, these back airs, you know, like, you're pretty safe, right? And, like, I understand that, like, I'm not telling you immediately as the game starts to necessarily super rush in, but you could be looking for opportunities here to sort of set those things up, and I don't really see, like, that intention.
Okay.
So, like, okay, so, like, for instance, like, right here. So, like, so basically with the up tilt and the up air, the main thing is that you want to be underneath Sheik. And so it's like, first of all, you want to be underneath Sheik. And then, second of all, you don't want to be underneath her in a situation where, like, she... Like, you don't just want to be underneath her arbitrarily, but if you can get underneath her when, you know, like, she is kind of stuck coming down on top of you. Like, if you're underneath her, but, you know, she's, like, shielding on a platform and she can just shield drop back at you or something, it's not really, like, a situation that's great for you, right? But, like, generally, if you can get underneath her, especially if she's just in the air, then, like, so, like, that's what you want. So here's a situation. So, like, let's just ignore the back air walls for a second, because, like, yeah, like, you know, it's good to maybe get a back air or two to build up a little percent on her, you know? Like, that's it's like, not perfect, but it's like, yeah, like, why not? Like, just try to get some back airs. So, but then, basically, like, the situation you're looking for is for her to be able to get, for you to be able to get below her. So if she's right here, okay, so let's just start it out. So you start out like this, and she's on the platform. Obviously, you don't really want to go down here because then she's just gonna, you know, needle you or whatever from the top thing here. You can go down here, but it's not that big. So you're like, okay, so you're down here. So you're taking this space, which is, like, basically a little bit further than the needles. This is totally fine. So then he comes down here, or the Sheik comes down here. I don't know who you're playing, but they come down here, and you're like, okay, so now I'm in this position, and I'm going to try to get him to jump into the back air. And then, so the Sheik goes up, but when they do this jump right here, this is like, you need to be watching for this, where, oh, here's a chance to, like, kind of move in and sort of pressure. Because even if, like, let's say you get, like, right here, even if you don't throw anything out, the Sheik is kind of, like, in a bad spot. Like, you're kind of setting up for, like, this sort of situation where you can get her into one of the up airs. Like, you know, up tilt is pretty good, but most of the time it's going to be an up air. So It's like, you want to be, like, it's like, even if you don't take something, you want to be moving into positions where your opponent has to worry about you potentially trying to take something.
Okay.
So it's like, not despite you, like, totally being safe here and you haven't taken any damage, or I guess you take a little bit of damage, like, there's nothing that, like, you haven't tried to gain an advantageous position. You've simply you've played, but you haven't tried to do anything yet. And then this is kind of a questionable rest, obviously, but I go for wacky rest too, so I get it. I understand, but still maybe not great if you're trying to practice. Like, if you're in a tournament or whatever and you see an opportunity like that, like, and you really think it'll hit, like, by all means go for it. But in practice, I would basically try to avoid those at all costs. Because, like, it's like, basically, like, you want your practice to be as efficient as possible, and, like, you want to because it's like, let's say the Sheik needled in such a way that they're just out of the range where you can't rest them, then like you would need to practice probably a back throw there anyway. And so it's like to practice back throw into the edge guard, or maybe try an up tilt. She might be too low of a percent for the up tilt, I'm not sure, but like if she lands, I guess she is. But like going for the rest without doing anything there is just kind of like, basically this situation can happen to you in tournament and you don't want that. It's like, sure, you don't like, it's not like you die out of it, like it's not that bad, but like there are more consistent situations that you can go for out of it, basically.
Gotcha.
Because it's like, if you land the rest, you're like, yes, I rested you, get destroyed. And it's like, what did you get to practice? You know, nothing. You just bopped some guy, and he's like crying in his room, and you're like, this feels great. And you're like, but you didn't learn anything.
Right, instant dopamine chase.
Yes, you get the dopamine, like, yes, I love Puff, but like also, you didn't get any better by doing that, and that's what you want to watch out for. Because it's basically like, I think, honestly, a big part of the reason why there are so many Puff mains that struggle with getting better is because it's a character where it's very easy to fall into habits that don't allow you to learn the most. Where basically,
right.
like, there's so many situations where you're like, is this a good situation? Oh well, I'll just get out of the way, you know? And I think that, like, a lot of people fall into that kind of trap. And so it's very important to focus on trying to, like, I'm not gonna say to like be aggressive with Puff, you know, but like you really want to like try to work on aggressively finding advantageous positions and like how to force your opponent to do things that'll be good. And also, like, when you have an opportunity, for instance, like when you have an opportunity for a rest, maybe if you're kind of like a beginner, it's okay to just sort of up air rest every time or whatever. But like, you do at some point want to practice, you know, maybe up air, back air, back air, back air, or whatever, like, instead, so that you have it, like, you have it there. Like, basically, the character is so good at, like, these minimalistic things. Like, you know, if you had gotten a rest there, you get the stock, and that feels good. That, like, it's easy to not explore the parts of the game that you need to explore in order to actually get better.
Okay.
So that's like a really, really big thing that I think pretty much every Puff except for Toussaint falls into, and Hungrybox. Like, Toussaint basically has a different issue, but the issue he doesn't have is that he's like too passive. Like, he's always looking for advantageous situations, and I think that's what has helped him get to the level that he is with Puff.
Okay, so advantageous positions for me are below Sheik and
Sheik off stage, and
okay.
And Sheik in the air in general, because then if you know, if she full hops and then she's in the air and you're also in the air, like, she doesn't have a lot of drift. So if you just kind of drift at her, then like she has to worry that you might try to do an up air and stuff like that.
Okay.
So even if you're not directly below her, just sort of getting her up in the air without like an easy way to come down is really good. What were you gonna say before, though?
Oh, okay, so those positions, and I was going to say, do you think that as Puff being crouched kind of near Sheik in a, I don't know if I'm using this term correctly, but like scramble scenario is advantageous for me? Like, should I be pushing that spot to land near her and crouch and like threaten up tilt or threaten turnaround grab or threaten, see what I'm saying?
Okay, so yes, that is a good position, but it's kind of like, it's not a good position on its own. It's like it's like basically you want to get to a spacing where you like basically you want to find the most awkward zone for Sheik, where, you know, she can't easily just down smash you, and she can't short hop needle you very easily. Like, you kind of want to be at this awkward sort of close-ish range, but not like right next to her. And then your goal, like, okay, so sorry, I'm not explaining this super well. Like, so basically you have all these good situations in the matchup that you want. Like, you want to read her jumping with your up air, or you want to like get like a correctly spaced, you know, fair to like knock her down or something like that. And it's like, the crouch near her is another situation that lets you enter those situations. It's not the goal in itself.
Okay.
So you're looking for all these situations, and you can create these situations through a variety of ways, including the crouch close to her. So it is good, but it's not like your goal is to get close to her and crouch.
Okay. When we go through the rest of the set, will you point out spaces or times when I am in an advantageous position just so I can see it?
Yeah, definitely. So I was actually going to point one out right here. This is a good time. Is that so? One of the most important things in this matchup is full hop, instant back air, fast fall, up air. The more you do that, the more you will get like literally like 100 free wins on Sheiks. So here's this situation. This is like the most common like Puff murders Sheik situation possible. Like this is like the textbook. Is Sheik does something right here, then you full hop back air her, and look, if then she jumps out of shield, this is super common, then you fast fall here, drift in an up air, and you get a free opening to arrest. You'd literally have won the stock here if you did this.
Oh, okay.
But you go for the same thing with a back air. If you had up aired right here, look at this position.
Wow, yeah, I see it.
So it's literally full hop back air, she'll jump out of shield, do something, and you just float in, up air it, and then you get either, you know, like you could up air, she DIs out here. If you can't get the rest, and just, you know, double jump back air a few times. And then otherwise, you know, maybe you could get another up air, like up air, and then she's up here, and then, you know, up air again, and then you can look for more combos out of it, or you can look for the rest if she DIs correctly for it. But like this is like the situation. Like I have literally seen, like, there's a set with Snowy against Swedish Delight from last year, and Snowy literally does nothing but full hop, instant back air, fast fall, up air, and wins the set. And it's like, obviously, it's not how it should go, but if the Sheik is playing bad, or like their game plan is off, or whatever, like this is Puff's basically, you know, Falco just down air, shine, and pray that like the Falcos do. For Puff, this is like, you're like, I've given up on like doing anything super tricky, and this is just my hoping that you'll run into this. But it's like, this is like the basis, because then like once you start doing this, Sheik has to really watch out for the full hop, instant back air, fast fall, up air, and that like prevents her from jumping out of shield as eagerly here, and that sort of changes like a big part of the dynamic of the matchup.
Okay.
So yeah, just once again, so you can see it right here. This is literally, this is like the perfect up air. You should be like, oh, like there it is. Like every time that happens, every time you full hop, instant back air her shield, and then that happens, then that's where it is. That's like the opening you should instantly go for. So like here's another opportunity again where you get her up on the platform, and she's kind of in this awkward spot, but you don't go for any up airs here, where it's like. It's like, you gotta be going for the up airs there. If you don't feel like super comfortable with it, I really like you'd be better off like. Let me show you.
If Sheik's above me, I should go for up airs with a frequency of like 95%.
Yeah, because it's like, look, if you had up aired here, even if you don't get a perfect rest setup, you know, like let's say she goes too high up here, and then she double jumps out. Now you're here. She's above the top platform with no double jump. And then even if you're not going to up air her or something, like you could just jump onto the platform and then get like a short hop or double jump fair, you know, like carry her off. So it's like when Sheik is on the ground, like think about it. Like when Sheik is on the ground, she can crouch. She has this huge shield. She can like wave dash out of shield. You know, she can get, if you're not crouching, she can get grab confirms. You know, like she can get grab up throw to kill you, like depending on your percent. Like she can get an up smash, which is her earliest kill on you if she reads you somehow. Like you full hop nair and then she does like a tipper up smash. I'm sure that's happened to you before. Like you full hop nair, she tipper up smashes you. You die at like 50. Or whatever it is, and it's just like, ugh, like it feels bad. But like when she's in the air, literally she doesn't have any of these options, like at all. Like, and especially if you're not above her, because if you're above her, sure, she still has up air, she can aim her back air, but if you're below her, back air doesn't really work, forward air doesn't really work, her nair loses to your up air, her up air doesn't really work. Like, if you're directly underneath her, she can't really needle you, and if she does try to needle and you dodge it, you have, like, a free rest, basically, or a free up air.
Right.
So it's like her being in the air and without being directly super able to do something off a platform is, like, a situation where that is your advantageous position, basically. And so she doesn't want to get caught here. She needs to be lower. So look at this situation. This is like a situation. So there's the thing. This is a situation where the Sheik plays it better. So look, where she's grounded, and you don't really have a lot here because your up airs aren't going to hit, your back airs aren't going to hit. Your options are basically either convince her to jump or tomahawk grab. I'm not sure how much you use that, but that's like really good also.
Okay.
Because, okay, so the thing you were saying also about, like, the crouch close to Sheik, like, basically if you land right here after this back air, and she doesn't move, then you can crouch and dodge the grab, or you can immediately land and grab her, or if she's at a high percent, you can land and dash attack. And so that's sort of, like, the mix-up here. And then, let's say you land close to her, and then she doesn't want to get grabbed, so she short hops, and then you just up tilt or short hop up air, and then she's dead out of that.
Okay.
So it's sort of like, basically, you want it to feel like every motion you do, like literally every drift you do, and it's difficult to be conscious of this, but you have to think of your drift a lot, pretty much like dash dancing, like on the ground, like where like every drift and movement you do should be either right on the range where Sheik can't really hit you, which is kind of like, because the thing is like, if you're so far away that Sheik can't hit you and you can't hit Sheik, then like, you're not going to accomplish anything. There's no direction towards your goals. You're just kind of hoping that she messes up. And honestly, like, if you're not threatening anything, Sheik wins neutral pretty hard. Like, if you play this matchup overly safe, you're just going to kind of get zoned out by Sheik doing back airs and fairs, and you're never really going to super get in. So it's like...
That's what's been happening to you.
That's what's been happening to you? Yeah. No, see, that's what I would have guessed would have happened, because you're playing sort of overly passive, and so you're not able to force Sheik to do anything that's outside of her comfort zone. So it's basically like... You want to sort of stay at a range very consciously with your drift where, like, she doesn't really want to, like, okay, like, let's say you're here, and then she's here, and let's say you're not even throwing out this back air, okay? And, like, let's say to hit you, she has to short hop fair. Well, let's say you drift just so that you're slightly out of the range of the fair, and then you drift in up air, she loses her stock.
Okay.
So she doesn't. So if you're close enough that if she jumps and whiffs, that you can just slide in and up air really quick, then like that massively changes the risk reward. Whereas if you're here and you're not really ready to drift in, and she misses her fair, and you just sort of drift away, or you double jump drift away, like she gets to do things for free. There's no direction from your end.
Okay.
So the two parts of it are basically, you want to be just far enough away that you can kind of threaten her, but not really. And then, but if she commits on you, she gets murdered. Potentially. Right. Not every time. Like, sometimes she'll just jump and fair you. But if she jumps and fairs you 3 times, and then on the 4th time you up air rest her, you're winning by a lot. That's not actually good for her. But it's like, if you're not in a position to get the 1 out of 4 times where you up air rest, then she'll just fair you 10 times, and then you lose your stock.
It's almost like my shitty spacing would be conditioning.
Huh?
I like, in my mind, if Sheik like faired me 3 times and then I got the spacing correct once and up air rested her and she died, it would be like my shitty spacing was conditioning her.
Okay, so that's totally true. But the thing is it's not actually bad spacing. Like, being in a range where you can get hit is not bad spacing.
Oh, okay.
That's like a very common misconception where it's like, you can get hit, but what you want to do is create, you should probably write this down, but you want to create situations where you could get hit, but if you don't, she dies.
Situations where I can get hit, but if she misses, she dies.
Yeah. Where it's like if she right here somehow did a perfect dash up short hop fair or whatever, you would get hit by it. But even if 1 out of 4 times you just slightly spaced a little further away and then you get the up air rest, then like none of those fairs are worth anything because it doesn't like the like expected value basically is negative for her.
Okay.
Because even if she fairs you sometimes, eventually you're just going to up air rest her, and that's what she has to look out for.
Yeah, I understand. I get what you're saying.
Okay, so the other parts of it, so that the one part is basically staying at that range where you can punish her, and that sort of like lightly threatening. Then the other part of it is when you directly make a read that she will do something, and then she has to respond to you. And so like basically in this situation you're kind of saying I could go in whenever, and you're kind of hoping that she does a bad commitment on you. But when you're used to playing at this range, every so often, let's say, you know, you have an idea of her patterns, or you just get like a feeling where like it seems like based on everything they've done in the past that this really is a good option, then you can go in. And then you can go in like right here and crouch and then instant short hop up air, or go in and crouch and up tilt, or just literally land and like land after the bear and turn around and grab. And so like the fact that you might also come in sometimes puts Sheik in this zone where it's like, okay, so if I jump up to hit Puff and I somehow miss, then she up air rests me. And also if I get too complacent and like, because the thing is like, because then the Sheik will get really careful when you're in that range where she might not be able to hit you, but she might be able to. She'll get really careful and she'll be going, okay, look for the exact spacing where I can get a hit. And then just get the hit and get out, and get the hit and get out. But then if you sometimes also go in on her, then she has to be like, is this Puff movement overcommitting in a way that I can hit him? Or is it overcommitting because he's actually coming at me to try to hit me?
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's that's a lot different than I thought the matchup was, but that makes a lot of sense.
It seems obvious when you say it like that. It's like, yeah, wait, why am I not doing that? I could just just win. Like, what's wrong with me? No, I feel you on that. I've been there a lot of times.
It feels like when I see the answer to a proof, and I'm like, why did it? Of course. How did I struggle on this?
Yeah, literally. Okay, so this is actually... Okay, so you're here. Should have up here there. That was the thing we're going over. Okay, so you're in this situation, and then he gets out of the way here so that even if you came in with the up air, you know, he could punish. So this is fine, but you did overcommit a bit with this back air. Like, you gotta be cognizant of when she goes out of your range like that. Where, like, so you're in this range. I think this is a really good range where you get up here, because then he has to worry about you coming in with the move, right? But then he moves, so what you should do is literally be at the same range, like be like right here instead, and then recreate that same situation over and over. Okay. Where it's kind of a threat, but it's like you could go in, you know? So like here, like look at this situation. So look at this from the Sheik's perspective. The Sheik sees you here, and then she's like, okay, he's probably gonna like float back to this platform because he's been kind of like this isn't a very good position for you. Because, you know, Sheik can up air you, or you have to kind of come down. So the Sheik sort of makes that read that you're going to kind of retreat over here. And that's why she runs here and does this. But, like, let's say you just happen to, like, drift back a little bit here. Sheik could die out of this, you know? And so it's like, she has to be really careful where she gets these openings. And that, like, can be used a lot to your advantage. I also haven't seen you shield drop once.
I can do it. I don't.
Why are you laughing? I'm just curious.
I don't know. I just like nothing.
Okay.
How would I use it? That would be like that. Okay, so if you're noticing that, it's making me think that it's super effective in this matchup. Like, what about it is?
Well, it creates a situation where, like, you. Okay, so it's not. Okay, so let me see. Like, okay, let me go back to find a situation where it happens. I think it was back here. Where are we? Sorry. I'm trying to figure out where we are in the VOD. Okay, so here's this part. Okay, so those back airs are okay. Okay, so you're here, and then you end up right here. You could have basically right here. You can just shield drop below the platform, and you can either double jump back here on this side of her, like shield drop, double jump back here to try to push her off stage, or you can literally just shield drop up air. And I'm not sure if she tried to shield drop here or dodge your shield drop up air, but either way, if you had done either of those options here, you would be no longer in a bad position.
Right.
Okay, so you're here, and then okay, so this is actually pretty good by you. These back airs, because like you create this space here as you move away, and you go, okay, Sheik is probably gonna chase me, and so this is the perfect time to do this back air here, but the only problem is that after you get the back air, you don't confirm it very well. Like, you get this back air, this is the perfect time for, like, you to drift in, because then she goes, oh no, here she comes, like, because that's the thing is, like, if you get, like, let's say you drift in after this back air, and then she shields the next back air, and then, but instead of back airing, you tomahawk grab and then forward throw her off the stage. That's, like, a pretty common situation, and it's also really bad for her. So it creates this pressure where, like, she might be tempted to jump, and then, like, let's say you're drifting at her, and then she full hops. You can double jump up air here, or double jump back air and get her off stage, or double jump fair either also. So like, but you instead of going for the pressure, you sort of drift back out of it. Just sort of, it looks kind of like an autopilot where you're like, I bear and I drift away, you know? Yeah, and so it's like. So, because you create too much space, then rather than feeling really pressured in the corner, where, you know, maybe she'll roll or something like that, or jump out of the corner, she just sort of runs out of the corner because she sees this open space.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
So we were talking about, so let's say after this bear, if I had come in for the tomahawk grab and forward thrown her off ledge, and now she's grabbed ledge, I was wondering what Puff's best options are for like if Sheik, let's just say Sheik is on ledge and I'm covering the options, like what do you think the best way to go about, I guess, ledge pressure is?
Yeah. Well, the thing is I think basically any character with like a ledge dash, you can't super directly edge pressure them, but I think that like you want to create a situation as best you can where, like, it's not just a back air that she's worried about. Like, that's the best thing I can say, is that, like, because let's say she knows that you're going, all right, Sheik is going to get up from the ledge and I'm going to back air her, right? Like, if that's the only thought on her mind, it's not actually that scary for her. Because, like, she can ledge dash F tilt, and then it's like, let's say, you know, you drift around the F tilt, and then you back air her, she's back at ledge. She gets another chance. Let's say she messes up her ledge dash, and she jumps and does like a triangle jump, like a bad waveland on a stage, and she's vulnerable. But then you swoop in, and you back air her, she's back at ledge. Like, she doesn't actually lose too much from that situation. So what I would say is, like, you want to be close enough such that Sheik is worried. Like, she can't just double jump from edge, and she can't just you know, regular get up or whatever. But if she goes, so you basically want to do your best to force the ledge dash, because not only is it a fairly difficult input and she can mess up and die, but like that is gonna be like, it basically, you want to keep her honest, and by keeping her honest, I mean you want to force the ledge dash. And then when she does the ledge dash, you basically want it to look fairly threatening that you're probably going to forward throw her, or up air her, or up tilt her, and then see what she does. Okay. Because she'll ledge dash, and she has Gallant. Like, you can't get any direct punish, but you just don't want to be like a back air chump who's like, you come back, I back air. And they're like, okay. And they come back again. Oh, you come back, I back air again. And it's like, I'm totally being good because, like, I'm totally safe. And it's like, yeah, well, the Sheik is safe too. Like, maybe they'll take a little bit of damage, but, like, you can sort of get a lot more out of that by threatening these bigger openings. So it's like, that's sort of like a main point to keep in mind, is that, like, the reason Sheik struggles against Puff is because of these big, quick openings that she has, where you get easy edge guards, you get easy rests, and you get easy juggles. And it's like, if you're not threatening any of those, then Sheik doesn't have to, like, Sheik just destroys Puff if you're not going to threaten those. Because Sheik wins neutral. This is like a thing. Like, if you're playing against a Sheik and the Sheik is sufficiently good, she will hit you out of neutral more times than you hit her. This is a fact of the matchup.
Okay, that's good to know.
But she can't hit you as hard as you can hit her. And so that's why it's like, it's very important to sort of keep these hard punishes in mind, because the hard punishes are what let you compete in the matchup. And if you're not directing your play towards these hard punishes, you're not playing the matchup in a way that allows your character to actually win the matchup. So basically, if there's any situation that I don't mention and you're not really sure what to do out of it, just think, how do I threaten my strongest options? And it's like, so it's like, what you can do, and I'll continue going through this, obviously, but what I'm saying is, like, you can, like, basically, especially in practice, it's like, it's okay to get hit. Like what you should be doing is sort of greedily going for your best openings, and then when you realize certain spacings or whatever are getting you hit every single time, like, basically, they never get you an opening. Like, if things sort of kind of get you an opening sometimes, think about it, make sure it makes sense and they're not just being a moron, you know? But, like, you want to sort of test the limits of your ability to get these hard openings.
Okay.
And then, like, the safety aspect of Puff is good, but, like, if what you focus on is keeping your character safe, you're not testing the limits of what you can do and making your opponent unsafe. And that's, like, very critical to getting better at Puff, because it's really easy to end up in the zone of, like, I'll just avoid him the whole match and tack on back airs every now and then, and yada yada, you know, Hungry Box wins, you know, like... So it's like...
You'll be winning.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, that's sort of, like, what the mentality that happens to a lot of Puffs. And so you got to be extra sure to focus on always looking for the hard openings, no matter what. Okay. Especially in practice, where it's okay to get hit out of them. Like, it's better to go for a bad up air than to go for a clean back air in practice, because you need to find where those up airs work.
Okay. So
here's the situation again where, like... I know it's kind of like repeating the same things, but that's just kind of how this character is. Like, Puff a lot of times is fairly simple, but the simple situations sort of, like, her actions are usually fairly simple, but they come up in response to a lot of different things the opponent does. So Puff might only do 3 or 4 things really consistently in a matchup, but she has to...
I ended up picking her.
Huh?
That's the reason I ended up picking her.
Okay, that makes sense. Where it's like, she only needs to do 3 or 4 things per matchup, but she has to figure out if if she has 3 or 4 things and the opponent has 50 things, she has to figure out where to assign each of those 3 or 4 things to the opponent's 50 things. And that's kind of like how her matchups work.
Got you.
So even though this is sort of a unique situation, this is the same thing again with bear up air, where it's like full hop instant back air. Then let's say you drifted, even though you did this retreating spacing, even though you didn't, like, perfectly confirm, if you came in here and up aired instead, that's the stock.
Right.
Instead, she just took 8 damage. Instead, it's like, literally, she loses the stock. I think it's 8 damage, right? Yeah. Like, literally, this is 8 damage instead of you taking the stock and being up 4-3. That's a huge difference. So yeah, so here's the situation where she goes to ledge, and the thing is you just sort of go for the back air here. I guess this is okay because she jumps up, but, like, okay, so this is okay here, but I would have said you should wait a little bit longer.
Okay. Because
she could also, she could also have done jump from ledge needle or something, and then this backer would have gotten hit by that. So you really want to, it's like, she jumps up right here. You want to wait until she gets a little closer to the ground. Because at this distance, she can fair, she can needle. She demonstrated here that she can air dodge up to the top platform or to the side platform. I wouldn't have expected that option, so I understand why you do this back air here. But basically, you want to wait until she's kind of past the peak of her jump here.
Okay.
And then this back air would have been good because it basically guarantees you a kill. So it's like, it's not like you need the up air because she used her double jump here. You could have just hit this and then she's dead. So if you had waited a little bit longer, then she loses her ability to do a lot of options. Where it's like, let's say you were crouching right here instead, or just standing there, it doesn't really matter. Then like she's like, uh-oh, and then you could have maybe reacted to this with a full hop back air or something, or a fair or something like that.
Okay.
So it's more, in that situation, it's more of just like a reaction point issue. Okay, so yeah, so this is fine. Like this is gonna happen where you avoid this back air. That's normal. So you get this bear, and then okay. So if I'm the Sheik right here, I'm thinking I'm gonna short hop back air you out of this, but the Sheik doesn't. So it's kind of like you didn't get anything out of this situation. Like once again, like you back air him, and it's like okay, you know, like like that's it, like. I guess we'll play the game again in a few seconds, you know? And it's like, there's no reason to do that. Like,
right.
It's like, even if you're afraid right here that the Sheik is gonna back air you out of shield so you move back, when you need to be watching Sheik very carefully, and so when Sheik moves away, you should already be moving back towards her to stay at that uncomfortable range.
Okay.
Because if you're at this range, you're not... Like, you're not losing, but you're definitely not winning. And, okay, yeah, this is kind of a weird situation. I would have probably just back aired here, too. If you can, up air here, you know? But, like,
right.
I don't expect you to react and up air this every time. Okay, so here's like a... This is a situation against Sheik that's, like, a little bit... Okay, so, basically... There's like, one of Sheik's most common situations against any character is that she does landing mix-ups. So, you know, she'll do, like, a fair and land, and then she has certain options that she'll do out of that. And, like, instantly. Like, she'll land with a fair, and then she'll, you know, forward tilt, or she'll go for a grab, or she'll, you know, wave dash back, and or she'll roll. Like, she has all these options out of her land. But the one option she'll basically never do is land with this and then immediately full hop aerial out of it, because if she does that, you basically just win. Like if you're here and like let's say she lands and then you're just sitting here and she full hop aerials, like she's just gonna lose. Like right, you're just gonna like back air her over and over.
Right.
So it's like this back air that you do right here is almost just pointless. Like it's kind of mindless. Like you're just kind of like, oh, I just feel like back airing there. But you have to really pay attention to like she's doing this landing mix up. Like what is she gonna do out of this, you know? And so
right.
like what you want to do is create that, once again, that sort of awkward spacing where she can't really hit you, but you can threaten. So it's like, instead of being right here and back airing, what if you were just right here, you know? Because then
right.
she can't hit you with her short hop aerials, and she's in this same awkward situation again. But because you go for that sort of back air thing, it doesn't really happen. So yeah, this is okay. That's gonna happen. That was a good back air. Oh, hey, you did it. So look, this is one of those situations where you did that mix-up where you land like this, and then Sheik doesn't know what's going to happen. She doesn't know if you're going to tomahawk her. She doesn't know if you're going to up tilt. She doesn't know anything. And so it's like you basically turn this situation, which is... Oh, man, I missed it. This situation. This is like notice how familiar this looks from earlier?
Yeah.
Like it's the same exact situation again. And so remember last time you dropped with a back air here?
Right.
If you had done this back air here and the Sheik just holds down, she just grabs ledge here. But instead of doing the back air this time, you land and then Sheik is like, oh no, here he comes, like, and so you get like this this is actually a really good mix up in my opinion. So, because you're not quite at the down throw up air kill percent yet. So I think, at least on Battlefield. So this is actually really good, and you get the kill out of it. I know it's been taking forever just to get through this one game, but
this is how it is. I like this.
This is fine. Because this isn't like a this isn't a neutral. That was like you know, if Sheik goes for that grab and she whiffs, just take the rest. Like in that case, because like I feel like it's completely non-ambiguous. Like that's just like that's gonna happen all the time until top level. It's not like the needle situation I mentioned earlier where she might be at a slightly weird spacing. Like if Sheik whiffs a grab like that, the rest is fine. I think that was good. It was actually a good reaction by you to go for that. It's kind of a special case in the matchup. Here's another situation where if you had shield dropped and drifted away, it could have been better. Like if you're here and you shield and then because basically it's like you can threaten the shield drop up air here. And that changes the dynamic rather than you sort of being scared.
Right, I understand.
Okay, so yeah, this is a situation where you don't want to push it too hard. I think this is okay by you. This isn't great either because she could have just literally punished this with a fair if she was good. She tries to, but her timing was off. Like, this is not like a good fair here. If you're gonna do anything, like, here, like, I honestly don't even think there's that much pressure to be had here. But if you do this, and then let's say you up aired here instead, and then like drifted, like you jumped and you kind of waited, and then you did an up air here. Then if she shield drops into it, thinking you're gonna do this, now you have an up air, and I don't think it would really kill her at this %, but you have a shot.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay, you're actually doing those mix-ups here, which are pretty good, but you're not spacing it correctly. But this is a totally valid mix-up. You just didn't space it right, so it happens. Just got to pay a lot of attention to your exact drift. This is a situation where you shouldn't be afraid of. When you should be ready to up tilt this, and because you could just trade, and then she'd be up in the air, and it'd be scary for her. It's like this situation where it's like. This is that same situation that I talked about, but you do another bear here. So look at this. Same situation where you can go in up air, you can go in grab, you can do all these mix-ups here, but you go in for the second back air, which doesn't really have too much of a purpose. Then, because she can't grab you, like, you can still maintain a good situation out of this where you do this back air, but you know you're far enough away that she can't do anything. Basically, she doesn't have any way to punish this. Her only way to punish this is to like wave dash in or jump out of shield and do an aerial, and both of those lose to up tilt.
Okay.
So you should be ready to up tilt there. There's another situation where shield drop sure would have helped. Like right here, if she does that jab and you just literally shield dropped and up aired her, that's like pretty bad for her. Like if you just instant shield drop up aired there. So yeah, here's the same situation. Again, obviously it'll keep coming up because it's puff. This is the full hop back air up air situation. You don't have to go for the up air here, but the up air needs to be a threat here.
Okay.
But instead you go for the double back air, and it's like, this isn't really getting you anything. Your best case situation here is you get, like, what was it? 8 or 9 damage, depending on, like, the staleness, I think. It's like, that is your absolute best. If literally Sheik stands there and taunts and is like, go ahead, hit me with all you've got, the back air doesn't do anything. And if you mess up, you die because you're at kill %. So it's like, if she CC grabs this, you lose your stock.
Right.
And if you succeed, you get nothing. But it's like, if you did this same exact thing, but you go for the up air here, it's like, sure, you're risking your stock, but she's now risking her stock too. Because even if you don't go for the up air here, if you go for the legit mix-up, where you land into a crouch or something here instead, then, like, you're still creating a situation where your potential win... Like, let's say you didn't go for this back air again here, and you just landed in front of her, and she forward tilted you. that's okay because it's not going to get her a kill.
Right.
I don't know why you suddenly started doing those nairs there. You were just like, oh yeah, I've got a nair. Like that's not the game plan. It's not that nair is necessarily that bad. At this percent, I would say it kind of is. But like, it was just funny that you didn't nair all game and then you just suddenly did like 3 nairs. Oh, hey, check it out. Here's the situation again. You did the wrong move, but so look, you get this situation. And then he gets to this spot, and you do this crouch, which is correct. But in this case, you really want to be doing either an up tilt or a grab, because if you grab down throw here, it gets scary for her. Or even up throw is not that bad, depending on her DI. Actually, up throw is kind of bad here, just because of this. I would down throw here. But it's like, so you get this situation, but you go for the F smash, and the thing is this is a great mix-up because a couple stocks ago, this actually got you the kill. But at 18%, it's not really going to get you that much. Right. It's not going to get you as much. But the idea of the way you landed there and the mix-up that comes out of it, that's the important thing. Because, like, this is a situation where you land right here, and then you crouch because you think he might grab here, which was a good idea because it looked like he was going to grab. This is a great mix-up for you because this is that situation that keeps coming up over and over and over, you know? Right. So it's like you need to maximize your value out of those situations. Okay, just gonna kind of watch through the rest of this so we can get to the next game before the end of the lesson. So this is good. What you're doing here... Oops. I think I might have... Okay. Okay, what you're doing here, this is good. Because he's scared of... He's scared of you, so he's going for the these weird ledge options. This is fine. What you can do is... I think you started threatening it here, where you were kind of like, hey, if you go low again, I'll grab the edge. You know?
Right.
And I think that's good, but you overcommit a little bit here. So this is the good range. This is like what I was saying earlier, where you can crouch like right here, where her double jump aerials from edge don't hit you. But if she ledge dashes, you could still, short hop, drift away, and then drift back in up air. Or let's say she messes up her ledge dash and you up tilt her, she's just dead. So so this is an overcommitment a little bit, and you die for it. This was mostly good. You just overcommitted way too hard right there.
Right.
But mostly that was good movement. It mostly followed what I was saying before. What was this? So you come back invincible. You go for that. Okay, that was fine. That was good. You went for the up air reads there. Oh, here we are.
Love the forward smash.
Same situation again. So the thing is, here you don't always want to bear here, like the reason Sheik is running up shielding here is because she knows that you almost always bear here. Let's say you could literally land up tilt here or land grab, and those would be significantly better. Or you can drift past his shield and then up air. Or another good one is drift past his shield, empty land, short hop up air, because he might jump out of shield here.
Oh, yeah, that is really good.
So it's kind of like you have only a couple of these situations that you want, but there's so many different little ways to get into them. So it's like you have this very common situation where you do full hop instant back air, and now you're kind of, moving in on Sheik. And it's like the more of these situations that you can get better at, like, oh, he does this. Oh, I have a mix-up that kills that. Oh, he does this. I have a mix-up that kills that. And the more you get better at mixing these in, the more you can say, oh, this Sheik always jumps out of shield here, so I can get these mix-ups more often into the rest and stuff like that.
Okay.
Oh, one sec. I gotta ban a bot from chat. Four 8837. Ban. Sorry, 25103. Oops. Ban Lucas 251013. Okay, there we go. Alright. So yeah, this is another situation where you want to do that mix-up. And see what I was saying, where if you landed here, and then you didn't back air, and you did an empty land behind his shield, and then instant short hop up air, it would have hit this.
Right.
And if you landed after this back air and just did an up tilt, I would say go for that more. Like, just sort of land and just do an up tilt, because you're not at kill percent. All he's going to get is grab, down throw, fair, or whatever. But if you hit the up tilt here, you get a kill. So it's like, instead you tried to crouch it, which I think you get Sakurai angled instead because you're at such a low percent. So it's not going to work there. And so at this percent, I would say the forward smash there is actually pretty good. But in that situation, I would not forward smash there. Because, like, you didn't come into this from the falling situation. You got in here from just crouching next to her. I think you need to grab significantly more. I don't think I've seen any grabs this set, outside of the ones you missed over here.
Okay.
Grabbing out of that mix-up is just overall really good, because she's afraid of your up tilts. She's afraid of your up airs. Here's another... Oh, you did the shield drop there, and it worked out. Oh. You gotta watch out for these. Right here. You really gotta look out for this, where if she's here, if she's on the platform, like, if she's, like, here, you really don't want to go for her, because she's always going to be going low here. I would just reset to this position.
Okay.
Like, you came off here, but you don't want to be, like, above her, like that. So it's like, yeah, so here we go. Here's the situation again, where you do full hop instant back air, and, you know, this is the type of situation where you want to be setting up for the dropping up air, right? But then instead, he does this. You know, your drift was too aggressive. I'm not telling you this was bad drift, but I'm saying in terms of like a mix-up, your drift happened to be aggressive enough that his nair here hits. He doesn't get anything out of it. This is just one of Sheik's openings that she'll get. So it's like, that'll just happen. That's not even a negative from you.
Right.
This is just a minor thing, but there's a situation here where you could have just shield drop back aired. Like, if your shield drops were better. Like, right here. Just shield drop, double jump back air, she would have gotten hit. Okay. Dude, even after this whole combo, it doesn't do that much to you. So it's like, just reset to the same old good classic anti-Sheik situation. Yeah, that was a little bit aggressive by you. I think doing this is okay, but... I'm not sure about this. I think it's okay. It somehow was like a little bit obvious, but I think overall it's not that bad. I would rather you go for those than play too safe. So
right.
So I think it's okay. Okay, so in a situation like this, so you come back invincible. Your goal should be, when invincibility ends, I am in it. Like, your goal should not be, I'm going to hit Sheik during my invincibility. As nice as that is, and as good as it is when it happens, Sheik has really good defense, and it's not usually going to happen. But what you want is you want to set up a good position.
That's really smart.
So you want to set up so it's like when invincibility ends, you're not in a good position here to mess with him. So it's like, if you're right here and your invincibility is almost over right now, I would literally just drop here and just like wait here. Because like by committing with this back air, that's how you get hit. And then even after this back air, it's like you sort of do this thing, and it's like you're putting yourself in a bad spot. Okay, so here, right here, this is another spot. You see him up over here, just go down to center. Like, put yourself in a good position. But instead you kind of wait on the platform, and it's just not very good.
Okay.
Okay, so here's another situation where, like, this is like right here. Every Sheik in the world will go to ledge here at least like a third of the time. And it's like, if he drifts forward, what can he actually do here?
Not much.
Like, not much, right? And he's at 100 and you're at 34. Let's say he hits you with his best move here. Let's say he nairs you, like a strong nair. Nothing, like, that's it. Like, whatever, okay. Take some percent, right? Whereas if you back air him, he's dead. That's his whole stock. So it's like, what you want to do is you want to be in a range. So, okay, so basically, Sheik's only mix-ups here are outside of, you know, wacky air dodges or whatever, which do exist. But basically, the mix-ups on the drift total are that she's going to make it look like she's drifting in, and then she'll go and fast fall back to ledge. Or she'll make it look kind of ambiguous that she's going to go to ledge or the platform here. And what she wants is she wants you to overcommit and go out too far so that when she lands on the platform here or gets close to it, maybe, you know, like you jump out to back air her here, but she's drifted over here, then you're gonna be basically forced to double jump forward air her right here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like she wants to get you to overcommit so that she can drop here, you fair, and then she goes to the other side of the stage and she's basically safe. That's her best option here. She's out of options. This is horrible for her. So it's like, but you don't actually go for any sort of pressure here. And that's like a big mistake. So it's like, as soon as she's here, you should be like, I am gonna murder you, Sheik. Like, this is really bad. But you actually wave dash away.
Right.
And it's like that, like as soon as you get this situation, as soon as you see that jump, you should be hovering right, like, I would say, okay, so like I said, it's sort of the mix-up here, but basically you don't want to let her overdrift, so you want to watch her drift carefully. What I would do is don't commit to the jump too early, and if you are, you could full hop here and then wait for like the double jump and try to catch the double jump here or here. But basically, it's like you have way faster drift than her. So you kind of want to jump up and then you want to make it look like, okay, if you drift all the way in, Sheik, I'm still going to be far enough into the stage to back air you off. That is like what you need to communicate to her. And then she'll almost always go to ledge there, because if she doesn't, she's still going to get hit. So it's like, if you stay like right here, then like she goes, oh, I can't really go here because Puff is like right here and she's still to the side of me. And then let's say you're right here at this moment and then she drifts this way, then you can just drift this way and hit a back air here.
Oh, wow, that's really good.
So it's like that's the mix-up in that case that you really want to get. And you kind of actually do it here. It's a bit of a more basic situation, but you're here and you're like, what she wants more than anything here, she desperately is like, please Puff, be a moron and like jump off and back here too far so that I can drift past you and then you're forced to hit me back to the stage. So she goes for this, which is fine because it's basically the same as an empty drift here for her. She's really hoping you overcommit over here, but you don't, and you keep yourself on the inner edge of the stage. Which is what you want. So you go, oh, just kidding, I drifted all the way out and then back, and now you're still out here, and then you missed this back air, but like the concept is there. And yeah, you just missed this edge guard. That was bad. And then bad drift to platform, obviously. This is just like this is like, come on. Of course she's gonna do this here, you know?
Right.
But even though you make a mistake, you're Puff, so you don't have that many problems there. Also, you've done this fair at least twice now, and it's not good. Like, this is not good. Because,
what should I
like...
do, just wait for her to give me the ledge?
Huh?
What should I do there instead? Just wait for her to give me the ledge and then go on?
I mean, you can ledge dash. A lot of times Puffs don't ledge dash because they don't like the risk of dying there, because otherwise they're so hard to kill. And so,
right.
But like, you can't, like, if you were a perfect player at the very top level, ledge dash there, like, Puff does have an invincible ledge dash to grab there. If you wanted. If you're not... Huh?
Never mind.
What were you going to say?
No, never mind.
Okay. The other option here, as somebody in chat just mentioned, is you can turn around back air, where you jump from ledge this way, and you back air on the shield, but in a way that, like, spaces it. Like, you back air, like, you're here, and the back air hits here, so Sheik doesn't actually have a punish out of it. And then that way, like, basically, like, let's say that situation, like, cause okay, so you back air her and you're spaced like right here, right? You double jump off this way, you drift in, you back air her, and that's it. But it's just her shield, and you can't get back to stage or anything. But the important thing is that's not actually a loopable situation for Sheik, but it is for you. Because you're doing shield damage to her, so she's losing her shield resource here, but you're not actually losing anything.
Okay.
So it's like if you double jump from ledge backwards and back air this, then you get shield damage, she gets nothing. But here you're way over committing, and you basically give her a free hit to get off ledge. Oh, look at that. You did the shield drop there? Look at how nicely that worked out. Look at. Oh, bam. That's what you want. Okay, so this works out for you, but this is actually pretty big, is that, like, the entire first part of Sheik's up B doesn't do anything here. So it's like it has no invincibility and no hitbox. So it's pretty easy to just, like, as soon as you grab ledge here, you can pretty much guarantee, like, just drop back air here and she would die.
Okay.
Like, she doesn't have any options here to deal with this. So but you get this, and it, you know, it works anyway. Like, that's fine. So it's like you obviously have a lot of different ways that you can kill her there. But I think we're about at time, actually, because I think the call started at 3:10 and it's 4:17 now. Are you there?
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you.
Okay.
I was waiting for you to wrap up. Or
okay. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I just wasn't sure. I didn't hear anything coming from your end, so I wasn't sure if the connection cut out or something. But
oh, no, my bad.
Okay, yeah. So obviously we only got through 3.5 minutes of video, which is actually pretty common for how analysis like this goes. Where, like, especially with Puff, it's like if I watched these other games, I can guarantee you these exact same things would come up literally over and over and over and over and over.
Right.
It's like I don't even need to watch them. I already know. Like, for sure, all of this same stuff is gonna come up over and over. So it's like, because she's so simple in relation to, like, what her opponent is doing, and so, like, obviously there's a bunch more situations in here where I could point out, you know, specifics of, oh, you could have done this, and maybe there's a different mix-up here, but the basics, I think, for you getting to the next level in this matchup are sort of laid out now, where it's like...
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so just to sort of review, it's like the full hop back air, full hop instant back air, fast fall up air is like your sort of ideal situation, and everything you do off of that is a mix-up based on what she does to sort of avoid that. And it's like you want to play very directed, towards your best punishes in mind, and don't play overly safe to the point where you're giving up possible advantages. Like, experiment and look for ways that you can find those heavy advantaged combos or openings or situations, and so that you'll know where they are. And what was the other one? Make sure, don't forget about a shield drop. Like, keep Sheik above you when you're invincible. Try to end your invincibility in a good position rather than just going for the hit. And there's a few other things that you could probably get by reviewing the lesson. But do you have any thoughts on how things went, or any extra questions before we wrap up?
I thought the lesson was very informative and worth the money.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think, like you said, you laid out the basic fundamentals for me to get to the next level of this matchup. So I'm really happy with the way the lesson went. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. So have a good one, man.
Yeah, you too.
We'll talk later. Bye.